Hello bookworms, it's Jade from Bedtime Bookworm, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to bring you my Book Outlet Black Friday haul. If you've been around my channel, you'll know that I don't do hauls very often, and when I do, they're usually library hauls. That's because I don't buy books very often. I do pick some up randomly here or there, but I don't usually buy a bunch of books at once. That changed on Black Friday of this year because for the first time I participated in the Book Outlet sale. I've actually never bought anything from Book Outlet before, but I had a list of books that I specifically was looking for, and their sale was amazing. I got 10 books for $37. Most of these books were like $2 or $3. I might have had one that was $5, but they were all just so cheap, and I'm really glad that I shopped this sale. The reason why I got 10 books was because I needed to have $35 worth of books in my cart to get free shipping. And it was actually a little bit hard for me to get to $37, which I know probably sounds crazy to you guys, but I'm pretty strict with my book buying habits. First of all, I try not to buy books that I haven't read before. My ideal is I only buy books that I've read and have loved. Sometimes that doesn't happen, especially like ebooks and audiobooks, that definitely doesn't happen. But with physical books, I try to stick to those rules as much as I can. And I also try to just buy paperback books, and so those two things together did make it a little hard for me to make it all the way to $35 in my cart, but I was successful and I was able to do it. I bent the rules a little bit, but we'll get into that in a minute. Anyways, the books that I really wanted to get during this sale were all from the Wheel of Time series. I posted an announcement video last week, which I will link in the description box and up above in the cards, talking about a read-along that I'm going to be hosting with Roya, whose channel is Unicorn Hunter Books. I will leave her channel linked down below. We're hosting a read-along for the Wheel of Time series, which is one of my all-time favorite series. In the past, I have owned the mass market paperback editions with like those 90s covers, which I personally don't like those covers like at all. The first problem is that I don't even know where those mass market paperback copies are. I'm pretty sure they're in a box in my parents' garage because there are many other books that I'm also missing that were really important to me, like all of my Harry Potters. I have no idea where those are. Pretty sure they were just lost in a box in my parents' garage. I don't know when I'll ever find them. Now that I'm hosting this read-along with Roya, I wanted to have my own physical copy so that I could just more easily browse each book for all the discussions and things that we're going to be doing with the series. I really don't like the 90s covers that the original books had, and luckily around 2014, when the series was completed by Brandon Sanderson, they re-released all of the books with new covers. I actually had like a really funny bookworm dilemma while I was trying to decide if I wanted to buy these books from Book Depository, because the prequel book was never published with these new covers, and if I ever wanted to own them, I would want all the covers to match. And there are UK covers that I actually like a little bit better than these newer US covers, and the prequel does come in that edition. However, I prefer just a little bit the US paperbacks because they are bigger and they're floppier, versus the UK paperbacks are a little bit smaller, a little more sturdy. And so I was trying to decide, do I buy these US paperback editions from Book Depository for really cheap, even though the prequel doesn't come with these covers, or do I buy the UK editions from Book Depository for not nearly as cheap and in a size that I don't love, but if I ever bought the prequel, its cover would match. I had such a dilemma, I could not decide what I wanted to do. In the end, the cost savings won out, and I went with the US covers from Book Outlet. Once I decided I definitely wanted to go with Book Depository, I snatched up all of the paperbacks of this series that they have, which there were only 5 of. So the first one that I picked up was The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan. This is book 2 of the Wheel of Time series. So I don't actually have book 1 yet, but I'm going to get it. I really love these floppy, look how floppy this is. Really love these floppy editions. Perfect size. I don't love the cover as much as I like the UK covers, like I said, but I still really like them, and they are tons better than the original covers. So this is the first book that I bought. Like I said, there's 5 of them. The next one in the series is book 5, Fires of Heaven. This is actually the next one I'm going to be reading because I just finished book 4 recently, but that won't be for a few months because of the read-along. I really love this cover. This character on the front is, oh, that's going to be out of focus. I don't have autofocus. Anyways, the character on the front of this is one of the main characters in the series. She's one of my favorite characters. I love her so much, and I really love this artistic rendition of hers. Oh yeah, this was the only one out of all 10 books that I bought that was one of their ding and dents, scratch and dent ones, and if you can see right here, like the cover is bent a little bit, and looking at it this way, I can definitely see the pages aren't perfect. I don't think you can see this on camera, but some of these pages are a little bit wavy and stuff, so it's not perfect, but really the biggest is just how bent this corner is, but it's really not that bad. I've been having it, you know, in my bookshelf being smushed down, and it's already looking a little bit better. It's definitely creased, and you can tell, but it's fine. The next book in the series that I was able to pick up was this Crossroads of Twilight. This is book 10, and then I also was able to get book 11, and, oh, whoops, forgot book 9. So this is book 9, which I'm actually noticing that book 10 and 11 are slightly different colors than book 9 and the ones before it. The earlier books are more blue, and then these are a little more on the green side. I'm not sure at what point in the series that happened. I guess I'll find out once I have the rest of them. That's kind of weird. Oh, but I wanted to tell a funny story about book 9. This is Winter's Heart, book 9 of the Wheel of Time, and compared to some of these other ones, let me see what's the biggest. So Fires of Heaven is like one of the bigger books in the series, and then this one is Winter's Heart, which you can tell is significantly shorter, and I think it's actually the shortest out of the 5 that I bought from the series. And what's really funny is that out of all the books, I remember when I was reading this one that I thought it dragged and dragged. I literally thought it was the longest book in the series, and I was so shocked to see how short it was because I really thought that it was like one of the longest in the series, but it's not. It's one of the shortest. Okay, so those are the 5 books from the Wheel of Time series that I bought, and once I got those in the cart, I think my cart was at like $23 or something, and I was like, okay, I can get 10 or 12 more dollars of books so that I can get free shipping. I mean, I might as well, right? Turns out it was a little bit harder to do than I thought. Like I said, my rules for trying to buy books physically is books that I've read and loved and that they're paperback. So the next 2 that I got are part of a series. So I got Cress by Marissa Meyers and Fairest by Marissa Meyers. I have read this whole series and I did love them, so they fit my rules. I also received Cinder and Scarlet last year for Christmas from a couple of my bookish friends, so I figured these were perfect. I just wanted to add on to the series that I already had. Unfortunately, they didn't have Winter. I don't know if they didn't have it at all or if they just didn't have it in paperback, but either way, they didn't have it in paperback. So I wasn't able to get Winter. I will get it eventually and finish out the series. And then the next book that I got was Walk on Earth a Stranger by Carson. This is a book that I read earlier this year that I absolutely loved, and I've read the second book in the series and also absolutely love that. I guess I should add that another rule that is a newer rule is that I am trying not to buy books in a series until the series is complete and that I've read the whole series. Part of this is because sometimes the last book can ruin a series, and then if I don't like the last book, then I might not want to own the whole series. And the second reason for that is because of cover changes. I hate when covers change in the middle of a series, and I have already started to own them. I know that can be a little bit controversial to say, but I really hate cover changes, and I like my books to all match. So I try not to buy books in a series that aren't like completely published yet, not only because I might not like the ending, but because, you know, they might change the cover for the last book. Anyways, I went ahead and picked this up because the third book in the series has been published already, at least in hardback. Hopefully they don't change the cover of the last book for paperback, because that's what I'll be collecting, is the paperback versions. The second book in the series was not available in paperback, so I only got the first one. I was actually kind of surprised when it came. It's a little bit small compared to these Wheel of Time books, you know? It's a little bit on the small side, but it's just as floppy as any other US paperback, and I love it. I love it so much. It's so pretty. I love this cover. Okay, so even after adding those 3 books on top of my 5 Wheel of Time books, I still was not at $35. It was so funny. I kept adding a book thinking, all right, this will get me there, and then it didn't. So I was really struggling to find the last 2 books that I was going to buy, and I ended up having to go out on a limb and buy things that I have not read, but both of these books that I bought are by authors that I have read and have enjoyed. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Jellicoe Road by Melina Marchetta, in paperback, of course. And I do really like this cover a lot too. I have read Saving Francesca by Melina Marchetta, and it's one of my all-time favorite contemporary books. This is another of her contemporary books that I've been planning to read for a really, really long time and just never have. Now I have it, so I have no excuse. I've also read 2 of her books from the Finnegan and the Rock series. I don't know if that's the name of the series, but that's the name of the first book, I think. And I didn't enjoy them as much as I enjoyed her contemporary, but I still plan to finish that series. And then the last book that I got in this haul is The Orphan Queen by Jodi Meadows. I've read 4 books by Jodi Meadows and really enjoyed them all. I've been meaning to get to her Orphan Queen series or duology because it's completed already, but I haven't yet. So I was really excited that they had a paperback copy of this available for super cheap. Unfortunately, the second book in the series, which I don't remember what the name is at the moment, was only available in hardback, so I was not able to get that. But maybe next year, especially if I enjoy this one. Alright, there you have it, guys. Those are all 10 books that I bought for Black Friday, all for just $37. I could not believe how many books I was able to get for that cheap. If you've read any of these books, be sure to leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I post bookish videos once a week, although in the month of December, I am posting twice a week. That's all I have for now. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bookworms, keep reading. Bye. Because the prequel book, so because the ones in the series, and then this, okay, so enjoy it, and anyways, I do really like this cover out of the bye.